Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel for everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. Now, in today's video, I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit of something different from my usual videos. If you guys know, back in earlier this year, or at least last year, a couple of years when I started my channel, if you guys know me, I have actually been, going to Disney World for quite some time, since 2016, and I've been making a bunch of Disney World videos where I ranked, the parks, my favorite rides of each park, my favorite things to do there. And unfortunately, I remember I announced that those videos are done for, because there's just not really anything else to do for theme park videos. So unfortunately, you're not going to get any more Disney World videos. However, this video is actually going to be explaining however, I did go to Universal and Islands of Adventure a couple weeks ago, and back in May, and I will be announcing that I have a big announcement for this, and I want to really explain my thoughts on Universal Islands and Islands of Adventure, really just overall. But before we start talking about my full trip to it, let's just kind of go back to when I first went there for Islands of Adventure, and only Islands of Adventure only when I went there. So, I went to Islands of Adventure first back in May of this year with my school. We were going on a end of the year school field trip, and as an 8th grader, it was of course fun. As a person that goes to school, it's kind of fun to kind of go on a school field trip with a bunch of my friends and all that, and you actually get to hang out with them, and once you get back to where the buses are, you get to kind of hang out with some of them. So it was fun. But the biggest thing about it was that it was my first time being to Island of Adventure, and it was really my first time being to another theme park besides Disney World. Which was kind of fantastic to me. And the thing is, when I went there, I had a plan where I wanted to meet up with my other friends, and I was going to invite some of my other friends, but for some reason, there was some complications that my friend wasn't picking up her phone, and she wasn't able to, there was lots of stuff that was going on. I don't know what happened. It was confusing, and I didn't really want to go with the adults, because if you aren't with a group of people, if you don't have a buddy with you from the group, then you have to be with the adults, and I didn't want to do that. Granted, I did go on one ride, which was the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, which you already know my thoughts on. And while I didn't really go on anything besides the Spider-Man ride, I did sightsee every piece of the park, and this park looks fantastic, and I will talk about it once we get into the day of when I went there fully, and actually rode more stuff than just the Spider-Man ride. But yeah. But when I mostly sightseeing, and I did like everything I saw, and so yeah, even though I did ride something, I did like that it would be a park I would love to go to with my family. And so yeah, that's kind of like the recap of my experience with Islands of Adventure. But now let's talk about Islands of Adventure when I went there for my mom's birthday. So we actually went there 2 times for my mom's birthday. And so the first time, I went there I was going there, and then I went there for basically the whole night, and then we went back to the hotel. And, just experiencing with my family was cool. Just seeing Spider-Man, riding Spider-Man again was of course great. And to give you a recap of that ride, I of course loved it, going on it 2 times, both the first day and then the second day with my dad. And once again, I'll say this again, as I said in my Universal video a couple months ago. I think that Disney World should start making more Marvel rides, except they should be more appropriate for families. I mean, obviously, I know they have a whole Avengers campus in Disneyland, California Adventure, but they really need, and I understand they have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but that's not enough. At least have a store dedicated to Marvel. At least make a Marvel land. Like, I'm excited for the Moana Pavilion. I'm excited for all of that. But make something Marvel related so people can come and visit Disney World. Because not everybody wants to ride Frozen. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people actually want to see Avengers. Some people actually want to see Spider-Man. Some people actually want to see other characters. Just stop. Bring in other characters. But honestly, I have to say this. I think this is the perfect. If you want to go see Marvel stuff in an amusement park, go to Disneyland California Adventure, or Islands of Adventures, because these parks are the GOAT of it. So then, the next, I actually rode 2 rides that day, both the Spider-Man ride and the King Kong ride, which, this was a ride I was really excited to go on because I saw it. We were like in a simulator, and honestly, kind of a disappointment, honestly. Mainly because you have 2 sets of screens that you have to be looking at, whether it's because one side is something else, and usually that's not my kind of ride I usually like to go on. I like to just look at one screen, and like, to be clear, it was cool. It's of course cool to see King Kong fight the dinosaurs, and of course, it felt like you were in the world of the King Kong film from 2005, but it really didn't feel like you were in it, it did feel like you were in it, but like, you had to look at 2 screens, and that's not really something I liked. So I was a bit disappointed by it, but I did like the special effects of it though. So at least it looked cool. So yeah, that was really everything I rode for day 1. Now we'll talk about day 2, which of course I rode the Spider-Man ride again, and then I rode 2 other rides, which were, one, the Cat in the Hat ride, which was a ride that when I saw it at Seussland, I was like, this is a ride I need to ride, because I loved the Cat in the Hat cartoon. And my family, I actually really liked this one, and that it reminded me a lot of the Winnie the Pooh ride at Magic Kingdom Disney World, and I like that vibe. And a lot of my family said that it was really a done in one ride. I actually wanted to go on it again if I could, like Winnie the Pooh. And then the other ride I rode, which honestly is my least favorite ride of the park, which was, I don't know what the name of the ride is, but I know it's one of the Harry Potter rides. So, by the way, as I'm explaining my trip to the park, I'm not really going to explain the areas of it, because I've already done that in my Islands of Adventure review. I will talk about Universal and stuff, but not really Islands of Adventure that much. And with this Harry Potter ride, it was fine. It was okay. It was cool, but it made me a little bit nervous and nauseous. There was certainly, I almost got scared when creatures were coming at me in my face, especially when, like, you got wet and they blew, like, hot steam on you, and it just felt kind of weird. I don't know. It just felt very weird. So then that was pretty much everything I rode in Islands of Adventure. But now we're gonna go to Universal, where I actually rode way more things. So, I did a lot more stuff. So the first thing I did, let's kind of talk about the baseline of the park, about that park, and it's actually a lot bigger. I would say that Universal is actually way better than Islands of Adventure, because Islands of Adventure is kind of like putting you into a world of like places where in Marvel, where you feel like you're in the world of Marvel characters. You feel like you're in the world of Dr. Seuss characters. You feel like you're in the world of Harry Potter. You feel like you're in the world of Jurassic Park. You feel like you're in the world of King Kong. You feel like you're in the world of old-timey comics. You feel like you're in that world. And with Universal, you feel like you're actually in that real world. Like, you feel like you're walking down New York with those types of houses, with those types of steps. And then you can literally just go across the street and get a slice of pizza if you wanted to. And that was kind of the cool thing about it. And then so the first thing I did when I got to the park, I took a picture with Scooby-Doo. You can actually go check it out on my Universal and Islands of Adventure mom's birthday vlog. And then the first attraction of the park that I rode, well, it's not really something I rode, it's actually something I saw, which was the Bourne Stunt-tacular. Now, if you guys know me, I actually have never watched any of the Jason Bourne films. It's a series that I've heard a lot of great things about. I heard it's one of the best action films of all time. But when I saw this show, it was easily one of my favorite things about this. It easily became one of my favorite things from this trip that I rode, of these attractions. Because, I mean, first off, it made me want to go and watch the Jason Bourne films, like, immediately. But secondly, it really has an impact of doing great action sequences. Like, of course you have the hand-to-hand combat, but I mean, with everything that they're able to do, whether it's what really is great is they're able to do is that it makes you kind of feel like you're in the action sequence. Like when they're doing tracking shots and characters are running across like buildings and people are trying to shoot at them, like the background screen moves with the characters, and it moves in a very cool pace where it's not really like, where it feels sort of like a video game, but at the same time it does it in a way where it feels like a show, and it looks really cool. So it may look like a video game at times, but it still looks very cool. And so then even when you're doing like chase sequences with cars, and like it actually makes it look like that the car is actually moving, and it's moving in a real place. Or even when you're riding helicopters, like it makes it feel so immersive. Or even when people are shooting guns, and like the gunshots are so loud. Like when they were at the house sequence, and he blew up the thing, and they're shooting the guns at the house. I literally got scared because like the gunshots were so loud, and they sound like actual gunshots, and it was so cool. And then even when they do big explosions, they actually treat it like real explosions, like they're actually there. Like when they blow up the little canisters, or when they blow up the fountain, like you feel the water come up on you, and you feel the heat when fire blows on you. Like it was so immersive. It really treated it like a great action thing. It literally did every type of action thing you can think of in an action movie. It's all in here, and it was just amazing. And part of what I said with the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, where I feel like they should bring Marvel rides into Disney World, this is something that really I've never seen any type of show like this. Personally, I think the closest thing that I can think of is the Indiana Jones show at Hollywood Studios in Disney World, where they actually have people shooting, and it's basically like the original It's basically a show based off of the first Indiana Jones film. And honestly, like, and also this kind of proves that not every single theme park is family friendly. Like, and one thing that my parents have noticed is that most of the people there are adults. Not really many kids are there. And especially since we'll lead into other rides that I went on that I don't think parents will take their kids to. And I mean, I did see some kids in there because, you know, it is an action thing, and some kids like action movies and stuff. But I mean, I don't think Disney would ever make a show like this. The closest thing to it is Indiana Jones. And it's like, that also gives, that and I kind of like that not every theme park has to be family friendly, and that it gives the advantage to certain parks that they can actually do mature things. Sorry, my for some reason I guess my phone turned off for some reason. It had a little glitch. I don't know what happened. But like I said, these two parks really allow to really give to all that mature stuff for those movies that have all that stuff, like you can actually do and make a show out of it, but you don't have to make it so family friendly. But at the same time, make it mature where everybody can at least go and enjoy it. And I think that's fair. But at the same time, it could be a little bit mature because I don't think Disney would make a show like this where all families and friends can come and see this. Though I would definitely invite friends of mine to go see this because it was an awesome show. Then we go on to I believe it was the E.T. ride. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this ride. Now, I'm a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of the movie. I like the movie E.T. Not the biggest fan of the show and of the ride. Just because the whole ride is basically designed to show us deleted scenes that weren't in the original film. So I was a little disappointed with that. So then we go to the Fast and Furious ride, which if you know me, I pretty much have watched all the Fast and Furious films. So I was actually pretty excited for this ride. And honestly, this ride felt like the King Kong ride where it was good, but where it's like the simulator stuff. Of course, I wasn't. It was really not that point I was bothered by. It was more of that it was good, but it needed to be longer. Like it was kind of too much. Where it's like I didn't really feel the stakes because it was just kind of like ongoing, and it just felt too short. So kind of wish it could have been longer. So then the last two rides I went on were the Jimmy Fallon ride and the Transformers ride. I was about to say Star Wars, but that's a different park. So the Jimmy Fallon ride, my family happened to not exactly enjoy as much because they're kind of afraid of heights, and so they're kind of not really the biggest fan of it. And this ride was pretty fun. Just racing through New York with Jimmy Fallon was honestly really fun. Going through New York and eating pizza, going to the moon, going to the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, just all that stuff, and having like cool flat callbacks to King Kong. All that was great. And then the last one I rode was Transformers ride, and it was fine. It honestly felt like the Spider-Man ride, except 10 times more movement, where Doc Ock is trying to move you. Like that scene where he blows the fire on your face and he's just on your seat, on your thing the whole time. It's like these Transformer villains never give you a break. Like they literally never give you a break to just breathe. And so yeah, and then the last thing that we really did to exit the park was a show that really had all of the characters from the park in it, and honestly, this just felt like a happily ever after ripoff, like of trying to put all these Universal characters together in one big show. And the thing is, I couldn't even see what was going on, so unfortunately that was kind of disappointing. Granted, I heard music, which was fun, but I wanted to see the characters on screen. Like that was disappointing. So, what exactly are my thoughts on Islands of Adventure and Universal? I think they both have their good qualities. I like Islands of Adventure because I think it is cool to be in the world of to be in the world of these iconic worlds that you love to explore. Universal, I kind of it feels a little bit like Epcot, except it's not trying to be, where you actually feel like you're walking through New York, walking through San Francisco, and then of course you get the iconic rides that you love from movies, which of course that's something I love. So a mixture of Epcot, a mixture of Hollywood Studios, combined in one, and you get Universal Studios. That's great. What are my exactly thoughts on them overall? I think they're pretty good parks. I think they do their own thing right. And yeah, so I'm a fan of these parks. Would I go to them again? Of course. I want to try out more rides, ride more stuff, probably buy merchandise if I could. The big announcement for this is that I will be doing Universal and Islands of Adventure rankings in the future, talking about my stuff So that's pretty much everything I'm doing. And that's pretty much everything I have planned for right now. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.